So I'm the kind of person who loses a lot of things, who forgets where I put something and spends those last 5 minutes before I leave the house or wondering where I put that thing. Does anybody else relate to this? No, some, a few, okay. I'm grateful for the tools that modern society affords us, like a digital calendar in my pocket so I don't forget most of my appointments. You might call me absent-minded, which is common for people who have something like ADHD or trauma or anything else that causes attention deficit. And in some ways, that's just the way some brains are wired. To a certain degree, though, all of us are distracted, more than we used to be. Do you have one of these in your pocket? Anyone? No? Just me? Okay. I'm impressed. So if you're anything like me, and I'd venture to guess that you are, you might be a little bit addicted to your phone, right? Which, after all, does a whole lot than simply make calls or manage your calendar. Our phones light up and send these signals to our brains. We get these little dopamine rushes whenever we get text messages or emails or when someone likes our Instagram post. I noticed this morning that when I even pick up my phone like this, right, the light goes on and a picture of my family pops up, which I like looking at. But at the bottom, there's a little notification telling me something, to share some pictures that I took yesterday. Right? And countless studies are telling us that our phones are keeping us more distracted. And I find it's even more prevalent when things are hard. I can't be the only one who's looking at the news, wondering when the number of lives lost will be enough for us to stop fighting, grieving for those who have lost people who have dealt with the kidnapping of loved ones. I can't be the only one reading all these anti-Semitic and Islamophobic things happening in the country. And I think we know that we can't look away from what's happening. We must witness and provide comfort and speak the truth. And yet the constant barrage of news and distraction doesn't lead to sustainable action. It doesn't lead to justice-making or service for others or anything in a way that is healthy for us. We've become beholden to the tiny screens, right? And yet what daily horrors it might serve up, right? And yet we use it also for a little bit of joy, right? That little bit of momentary dopamine, whatever it might bring us. Now, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm not here to give you a solution to this problem. This is a societal issue that goes far beyond something that one worship could cover. But if you're here, in whatever capacity, paying attention, not engaging online in another capacity, and I don't mean to call those who are at home out, but I know that for me it's a lot easier to get distracted when I'm not physically somewhere. If you're here and you're present and you're paying attention, you might be already on your way to this something called mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is this type of meditation in which you focus on being intensely aware of what you're sensing and feeling in the moment without interpretation or judgment. In other words, mindfulness is really hard. But mindfulness is a spiritual practice that explicitly does not ask us to be perfect. That recognizes without demands, it demands us, right? There's no demands on us except that we are not perfect. That such an idea is an illusion, and that all our thoughts and feelings are simply there, a part of our reality. It's a shift and a welcome reminder, certainly for me, to approach myself and my thoughts with less judgment. Have you ever felt something and then immediately judged yourself for feeling it? I certainly have. Well, in mindfulness practice, that might also happen. But at least you have the permission to stop that cycle and not to continue to judge yourself. And that's a gift. Mindfulness comes from the Buddhist tradition. Some scholars say the word to describe this kind of practice are often translated as bare attention, but also incorporates the words memory, because you have to remember to be this attentive to your own attention. It doesn't come naturally, right? So that's something that can be quite difficult. Now, something that I've always appreciated about Buddhism is something that I believe it shares with Unitarian Universalism. It's this idea that you can have a practice without having a specific belief about God. that religion is about more than simply what your creed is or what your belief is. And mindfulness meditation is a practice that science tells us has benefits. And we here believe in science, right? Our world, for example, likes to distract, like we want to get distracted to avoid painful emotions and difficult emotions. I know I've absolutely done this, and sometimes that's okay. But being able to manage these emotions is a skill that we all benefit from. And that mindfulness, also science reminds us that mindfulness can be a form of stress reduction. For the science-minded among us, that's quite attractive, right, as far as spiritual practices go. Would it surprise you to know that mindfulness is not solely a practice of Buddhism? The Christian Saint Ignatius of Loyola speaks of mindful eating in a book he wrote called Rules for Eating. And transcendentalists, who are closely associated with our Unitarian ancestors, practice a form of mindfulness in their connection to nature. So you see there's a way in which mindfulness can go beyond what we think of when we think of simply meditation. It isn't simply about sitting quietly, but about being aware of what's happening in our bodies, around us, and in our lives in the moment that we are in. It's about being present to that. So I'm going to get into this, I want to invite you into a moment of mindfulness with me as I guide you through what it might feel like to be mindful in this moment. So first, if you have electronics, I want you to put them aside and promise you won't look at them. If you're at home, find yourself a place away from distraction as much as possible. Wherever you are, get into a comfortable position. You might be seated with your feet on the floor. You might be laying down. You might need to move around while doing this. Perhaps walking or shifting is what works for your body. Listen to your body. We are all born with different bodies and different needs. To focus our attention, sometimes some of us need that extra movement. As we practice this mindfulness exercise today, we do so without judgment and with love for ourselves and each other. So allow yourself to breathe naturally. Let your eyes close or soften your gaze. Recognize that you have nothing to do but to be present in this moment. Consider your surroundings. We remind ourselves each week that the noises that children make are sacred and holy, but so are the noises that we make, the noises of our breath, the noises of our children. What noises are you hearing? Do you hear noises outside? Let those noises wash over you. Recognize them. They are a part of this present moment. What smells do you notice? What sensations and feelings? Recognize how your body feels. You can do this in whatever way feels comfortable for you. Are your feet on the floor? Notice how that feels. Are your feet cross-legged? How does that feel? What are your hands touching? Feel the surface of your legs or the pew or your other hand. What does it feel like? Feel that smoothness. Do you have discomfort anywhere in your body? Notice that. Is there anywhere that feels particularly at ease in your body? Is there anywhere where you can give a little more ease to your body? Allow whatever comes up in terms of these feelings to come up without judgment. How do you feel emotionally? Often we feel emotions in our bodies. What are you feeling and where are you feeling it? Maybe this exercise is outside your comfort zone and you can feel that discomfort somewhere in your body. Allow yourself to feel it without judgment. Maybe this is helping you to be more at ease. And if so, allow yourself to feel that ease. There is nowhere you need to be except this present moment. How does the breath feel coming in and out of your body? Thoughts and distractions may come up. Each thought can simply be that, a thought that passes by. You can acknowledge your thoughts without judgment, greet them, welcome them, and let them go. Know that it is normal to have many thoughts and distractions come through our mind. If you need a focus, you can focus on your breath. In and out. In and out. Place your hand on your stomach if you are comfortable with this. Feel your breath coming in and out. In and out. Allow the silence amidst the noise to hold you. Know that you are surrounded by community, by compassion and love. Allow yourself to return to the space that you're in. Unsoften your gaze. Readjust your body. Let us allow ourselves a moment of gratitude for yourself, for having taken this time, and for each other. Coming to church in its own way is a practice of mindfulness, of presence, that we do for ourselves and for each other. We are here connected in this imperfect practice. You can take this practice with you. Think about how you can be more present when you're eating, perhaps not looking at your phone or something else. How could you be more present in these daily moments of your life, when driving or doing some other activity? Drinking coffee. A simple practice for this would be to allow yourself to smell your drink and feel it in your hands, and to take slow, intentional sips as if this is the only thing that you're doing, and being aware of what comes up in your mind. So I offer this practice to you as something you can take with you, knowing that you can only do it for maybe 2 minutes a day, or 5 minutes. And if you don't do it, that's okay too. I encourage you to practice and to play with it, with this countercultural experience of presence in your daily life, however imperfectly you can and without judgment. May it be so. Let us say together, Amen.